Oh man, good after. Damn, where we at? Good evening, people. I should say, as normal. Welcome to a special Amsterdam talk. There will be no intro today, so you won't see me dancing today. There's no dancing going on today. But actually, I have special guests in the building. This title of this show is called Black Love. HBCU representatives in the building today. I have in the building the monks,
Mavericks.
the Mavericks. Oh, you're the group I'm looking for. The Mavericks. You're the actually group I was looking for. You went to Shaw, right?
Yeah.
Shaw U.
Shaw University is in the building today. How are y'all doing today?
We good.
We're great.
Okay,
We're not
so
good.
Hey,
you're not good. What's wrong?
We're great. That's
Oh,
what I
you're
was-
great. You're great.
Yeah.
You're great.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to get myself situated over here before we start. There we go. All right, so let's get it. Let's dive straight into this, because we are in a group that's brought to us by Ava. That is the producer of the show, and her group is the HBC Singles Lounge, and then we also have an HBCU Couples Lounge. So what we're trying to do is to have you guys come on today, and we want y'all to explain your story, how everything transpired from where y'all from.
I'm from Brooklyn. She's from Queens.
I'm representing Queens. He was raised out in Brooklyn.
See, and you know what? I'm going to start this off with this joke. I normally start off with something I've done, but I'm going to start off with this joke. You got a New York woman. If you can make a New York woman be submissive, you can train lions, brother.
So
That is right. You are a certified lion tamer, as what I call it.
you tripping.
So y'all from Queens, you from Brooklyn. Y'all didn't know each other before you got to Shaw, did you?
No.
But
Okay,
where we
so
funny enough, we lived like 10 minutes away from each other at the crib, but we didn't meet until we got to Shaw.
okay, so y'all got to Shaw. So let's start from the beginning. So
we didn't date in school either.
Y'all didn't date in school neither. So okay, so y'all didn't date. So y'all knew each other in school.
Yeah, she hung out with the choir, and I hung out with the other people.
So okay, so it sounds like y'all went two different worlds.
Definitely two.
But not really, because I'm a Delta and he's a Q. So, he was on my plot.
No. Correct. She was on my plot. She just happened to get there 6 months before I got there. That's all.
Okay. All right. So she was on your plot. Okay. So y'all didn't date in school, but y'all knew of each other, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we were in school. We didn't date. I had a friend of mine who wrote a book. He was working for, I think, Atlantic Records at the time. He wrote a book with Brandy, and I was teaching in New York actually, and she was on the air in Pittsburgh, and so I reached out to her to try to get him a interview to help him promote his book. So once I reached out to her, she been sweating me ever since. She found out I was single at the time, and then it's been sweat city.
So
it's been keep sweat ever since then.
You go ahead and believe that if you want to, Rod, but go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish. It's your show, so whatever.
But listen, I always tell people it's my house, but you're always welcome. So I'm trying to hear y'all story and let the people in the back, the people that's watching know that, that true love does exist, So
it does. But it's, it's his story and then my story, and then there's the truth. So I'll just tell the truth. I will agree that, he did reach out to me in an effort to try to hook his boy up with a radio interview. And I kind of thought that was sexy within itself, because I'm like, wow, he's selfless. He's, he looks out for other people. And I had to holler at him because, I was single at the time or whatever. And I was like, after I interview your friend, if you want to just come up and do a little dinner,
Like I said,
what's that?
It was Keith Sweat after that.
I mean, you know, that part is believable because she's a Brooklyn Knight, and so she's aggressive.
I'm from Queens. He's from
Brooklyn. Okay. You from Brooklyn? She's from Queens. Well, she's from Queens, so I know the aggressive nature in New York women. You know, at Maryland Eastern Shore, the aggressiveness flow from the women from the Five Barrels was just out of this world. I just didn't believe women were this damn aggressive until I met New York women. So I can believe she told you, yeah, come on up and have some dinner. So I feel like this is getting ready to be like that episode of Martin when everybody had a story of how they really got together. So so what we're gonna do first, we're gonna let you go first, Mrs. Myrick, first, and explain your story and how it went down. So he called to the show, and then what was next? Y'all want a date? Where did y'all actually go?
I invited him up, you know. And we talked because there was a few years of disconnect since we had graduated. It had been a couple of years, so I was kind of curious about what he was up to and whatever. And come to find out, he had a set of twins from a previous relationship, and he was a single dad. So again, I'm just, you know, I'm taking notes like, okay, he's caring, single dad, takes care of his kids, he look all right. You know, I was like, okay, come on up to the crib. We can do dinner or whatever. And so, he really was sweet in all honesty. But the only reason why I was able to know that he was truly sweet is because he kept coming up every weekend. You know, he wants to talk about me sweating him, but he was sweating me every weekend. As a matter of fact, I remember a couple of weekends that you ain't even go to work. You was calling in sick to hang with me. It's so true. He can't. I mean, he can't deny it.
You were making a trip from Brooklyn through the mountains to Pittsburgh.
Brooklyn to Pittsburgh.
On the bus.
So
on a Greyhound.
So I'm entitled to an extra day off work. If I gotta travel from 10 hours from Brooklyn, like 10 at night to 8 in the morning, I'm entitled to a day off on Monday.
So anyway, Ron, fast forward, just to give you the gist of how I grew to love this man. Before I actually fell in love with him, I had to break up with him first. What happened was I ended up getting a great job in New York City on the radio at the legendary 98.7 KISS FM, right?
Okay.
And I was going to relocate back to the city, and I asked him to come help me move, and he made some sort of excuse. I'm like, yo, you've been up here every other weekend, but you can't help me move. I don't know what the excuse was. So when I got to the city, I think there was a Mary J. Blige concert or something like that. And I knew he loved Mary J. Blige. I was like, I'll fix his ass. I didn't even bring him with me. You know what I'm saying? And he got mad.
That's trifling, right?
But it's all good.
Was that his chance to meet MJB?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I did not.
That's trifling.
Well, it is what it is. I mean,
that's trifling. That's why I went to the concert 3 times last year before COVID hit.
Anyway,
I saw Mary in New Orleans. I saw Mary in Raleigh. I saw Mary in Brooklyn. So it's all right.
What that got to do with anything?
Did you really like get face to face with it? Because I think Keisha had you face to face.
Nah, she didn't. She been hating. She been hating ever since. She been hating. She really hating on the low, to be honest with you. That's what it really is. But see, now I gotta back it up on her because she was working in Pittsburgh, and I was teaching in New York at the time. And so Pittsburgh is like, what market is Pittsburgh? Radio
20, maybe.
Probably 30. So she and she like, and I'm saying, so, you know, since you sweating me so hard, you want me to come to Pittsburgh every weekend. Why don't you just come do radio in New York? Right. And she, New York is the #1 market. It's hard. And I'm like, but since you sweating me so hard, you need to come get in the radio in New York. So she started calling around, calling people, this and that. Long story short, about 3 months later, she took a job in New York.
Okay.
That was me putting the battery in her back. That was me.
I got you. You supported her through the situation. Now I gotta ask you this. What if she'd have asked you come teach in Pittsburgh? Would you have did it?
No. Because see, the difference is New York money compared to Pittsburgh money. See, she was like, let's say
be careful.
She might have went from making maybe 40 in Pittsburgh to making 100 in New York. Right. You know what I'm saying? As I would have went from making 40 in New York to about 30 in Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying?
But
yeah, I got you.
It was a better move for her to come to New York as opposed to me going to Pittsburgh.
But fast forward, because I don't want this to get too boring for y'all. He says that now, I would never, I've never transferred because it wasn't enough money. But what happened was he ended up, and I mean this wholeheartedly, he ended up loving me so hard, he ended up walking away from teaching altogether. Right.
Oh, man. That's
After New York, I went to Los Angeles. I looked behind me. Who coming? Him. Then I moved to Chicago. Who that? Him. He literally left teaching because he loved me that much.
But you know what? That's the thing. And we try to tell some of our viewers tonight is that I feel you because you loved her enough, whereas though you wanted to see her succeed, you said, I'm going to follow you around for your dream.
But see, that's like, see, in all honesty, we joking around, but in all honesty, when you come into a relationship like that, and if y'all kind of have similar goals, because see, she was on the radio, and my goal was to do right. You know what I'm saying? So with her, it was kind of like a great opportunity because when she got the job in LA, it was like maybe June, July. And in New York, we off for the summers. So I was able to go out there with her, to basically get her tucked in at the station out there. And I got to spend 2 months out there and get a taste of the Los Angeles life, you know what I'm saying? To see what I wanted to do. And then there were just opportunities with her for herself, feeling like she's a woman and she's out there on her own. There were some things that, opportunities that she just didn't want to take because, like club appearances and all types of things like that she didn't want to do because she felt like she would have been out there by herself.
Right.
So those were things that we actually talked about and said, well, listen, if I come out there with you, one, see if you could get there, if they'll allow you to hire me as the producer of your show. And two, then we can make some moves and do some of these other appearances and things that, you're not comfortable going out on the streets of California on your own.
Right. So in reality, he was, and I do joke a lot, as you could probably tell, but I really attribute him to the reason why I succeeded so much, because he is he was just a huge supporter of my career. He's very selfless, and he was my biggest cheerleader. And I really suffered from imposter syndrome badly. Like I always felt like, even though I got all this talent and I'm making all of these major moves in my career, I tended to feel like I didn't belong. But he was always the one like, yo, you definitely have what it takes. You can do it. And if you feel like you can't, I got your back. And that's
how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is how
it's supposed to be. Yeah. So
that is definitely supposed to be.
People.
But I'm saying, so he put that battery in your back for you to make all these moves and make sure you weren't out there alone. And I definitely see the love and appreciation how you to this man, you said, yo, I'm going to get you some money in the process with me. We're going to work this out together.
Right.
Team. We was a
right.
team.
And see, one of the other things that, just taking it back from when we first started conversing on the telephone, again, I'm in New York and she's in Pittsburgh. And it just so happened, like sometimes we would pop on the phone and we both watching MTV Cribs. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, listen, I'm going to get that crib before you get that crib. So it was a joking thing. And then it boils down to, well, if we just come together, we could probably get that crib that we was both talking about. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you could be different. You can be totally different, but if you kind of on the same wavelength, then you can make anything work.
Like-minded individuals, you know, that's a good thing in and out of marriages, just to kind of align yourself with people who have the same ideals and principles and the same level of I don't know, gumph, you know, it's just incredibly motivating to be able to be in a relationship with somebody that shares the same visions as you. So
yeah, that is great. So what I want to ask y'all, well, so we're going to skip back a little bit. You know, you were making the trips every week. How tough was that for you, knowing that your future wife, your current wife, future wife at the time, was in Pittsburgh and you were in New York and you were taking these 10 hours and taking days off? Like, how did it work during the middle of the week?
It was very tough because, again, I'm teaching. I'm a New York City school teacher. And like you got a bunch of, and New York is different because we have Jewish holidays, you got winter break, you got spring break, you got summer break. So they kind of frown upon like you taking a Friday or a Monday off. They call it extended weekends. You know what I'm saying? They don't like the weekend. So here I am taking literally every Friday or every Monday off, extending the weekend just so I can recuperate from a 10-hour bus trip. You know what I'm saying? But
it was worth it though, wasn't
it? It's a G-rated show, right?
No, I mean, you can say whatever you want to say on here. This is fine. This is us. We say whatever you want to say.
But it was cool. But we had to figure out, you know, how do we get to the same city? And the crazy thing was, at the time, I didn't even like to fly. Like her mom was actually working for the airlines, and she was like, "Well, I'll fly you here in an hour." I was like, "Yeah, but I kind of like to stay on the ground."
So what does that say? What does that say about the impeccable, the undeniable Keisha Monk, that he would ride the Greyhound every weekend to see this? You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't even fly. He was like, "That's all right, baby. I'll take that 10-hour trip to see you every weekend."
That is hell of consistency and determination. You know, it doesn't, and just being with y'all for the last 20 minutes, bruh, that thing looked like it was all worth it. You know, you won. At the end game, you won.
Yeah, we both won. We both won.
We did.
We both, because we were able to do what we wanted to do, and literally on our terms. You know what I'm saying? Because again, New York, the teaching was tough, because I was teaching special education. You know what I'm saying? And I was on a grade level, where it's like a benchmark in New York where, you know, they was giving them all these tests and things like that. And they kept saying, "Oh, if these kids don't pass this test, they're going to get held back." You know, so it was tough. But then at the end of the year, they'd be like, promote everybody. So here I was having these kids and their parents and telling them, you know, your kid gonna get left back. We got to work hard. We got to work hard. We got to work hard. And then at the end of the year, they saying promote everybody.
But you know what?
Rough.
Super important to say this to your listening audience. Like, gosh, I hope I don't lose my thought. You know, I didn't like him in school. And also, I mean, I'm being honest. Again, it was very important. I don't know if he was paying attention. When we first introduced ourselves, he was saying, you know, well, she was in the choir and I was with the others. You know what the others mean, right? He was the
others was my people. They my people.
But truth be told, I really didn't like him because he just had like this hard exterior. He never smiled. Again, he always said, "Well, what do you expect me to do? Just walk around campus smiling?" I don't know. He just seemed real hard. So I didn't really like him in school. But once I got to know him, I realized that he was really the perfect mate for me. So again, my advice to your audience is, don't be so, you know, against dating outside of your type per se. You know what I'm saying? And totally, again, I hear a lot of my single girlfriends say it all of the time, like, "Oh, I would never date a man that has kids. Oh, I would never date a man that's, you know, shorter than 5'9". He got to make 6 figures." Like, that's just silly to me. You could be missing out on a lot having this, you know, strict vision of what you think your ideal man will be. He wasn't mean at all. And most importantly, he was perfect for me.
And that is the thing that I actually spoke about, you know, last week when I was telling them, like, you've been dating this certain type of man or woman, the same type, you know, when are you going to try something different? Because obviously what you like or what you expect ain't it.
Right.
So you got to try something different. But hold on, because we're going to play a game in a few. I got to talk to the Franklins for a little bit.
Cool.
Hold on for a second. What's up, Franklins? How y'all doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, man, what school y'all went to?
Southern University, Louisiana.
Oh, we got Southern in the building tonight. So y'all both from Louisiana?
Two SUs.
No, I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and he is from Chicago.
Okay,
So
Chicago.
I was on the track team.
You was on a what?
The track team.
Y'all was on a track team together.
Yeah, no, I was in the band. I was in the jukebox.
Okay, all right. So you was a jukebox. So how did everything occur? Like, who made the first move? But did y'all date in school, or was it after, you know, like the Mavericks were?
Well, we didn't date in school. We actually didn't even know each other at Southern. We actually, to tell you the truth, we got kidnapped in 2007. That's how this went down.
2008.
Oh, it's 2008? Okay, 2008. We was kidnapped in Houston, Texas. And we was on the southeast side of Houston.
Mm-hmm.
My frat brother and his wife, who knew Ariane, hooked us up. He picked me up and brought me to the north side of Houston, Spring, and left us at a dog sit.
So they set y'all up.
It is a truth. I wish
That's
they were
exactly how it went down.
Yes.
And,
so your frat brother knew what type of woman she was. Her, you know, her friend knew exactly what type of woman she was. And they say, hey, listen, we're going to put them together.
Yes.
Exactly. And then they were insistent. They would not let me say no. And then we get there, it's like, oh man, you know what? She's from Louisiana, she can cook. I'm like, I don't know, I'm not cooking for him. So
yeah, it started out crazy. He said, hey, pack your bag, you go stay with us. And I'm like, okay, not a problem. Both of us was personal trainers. I was training at Bally's at the time. She was training at NASA Space Center. So, and we literally lived down the street from one another, did not even know it. Knew the same people. My professor was her godmother. It was
all the same people from Southern
my
University.
friends was her friends, but we never met at all. And so it was crazy how that went down. Then while we were there at the house, we stayed the whole weekend. They threw a big party, and I pulled a smooth move to get her number.
Lord.
It was really smooth.
What was the move? What was the move?
The move was that the move was this. So we playing dominoes. We was playing dominoes, and they my frat brother pulled out a video on his phone, or did you pull it out?
It was him.
It was him, and he sent it to me. So it was real funny. We shared it. So what I did, just a simple move. I said, hey, I can send this to you, but you got to give me your number.
Okay.
Real simple.
I recognized the game.
And she recognized game, and she was like, all right, I'll give it to you. I was like, bet. So that's just how that went down that night. And
but what they did do to us was make us both sick that same night, because both of us being trainers, we didn't do fast food. You know, we're eating our 3 meals, our 3 meals a day. We eating our greens. They took us to McDonald's. Our stomach both were jacked.
Man, our stomach was messed
for the whole night. So it's like I'm trying to run away from the table, like, excuse me, let me go to the ladies' room. Like, oh my gosh, my stomach.
Yeah, so thank God they had 2 bathrooms in their house.
Wow.
It was. I think
it was
we got something simple. We got McDouble and some fries. By the time we got to his house on the north side, both our stomachs was turning. So when she flew to the bathroom, I didn't know she had diarrhea. So neither one of us knew. Both of them, man, look, when it messed our stomach up, it messed our stomach. So she flew to the bathroom. I ended up flying to the other bathroom, and we met at the same time back at the domino table, and kept going back and forth, back and forth.
No, man.
We was.
So who made the first move? Was you? Yes.
Yeah,
Mr. Rod. Yes.
It was I made the first move. So while we were spending the night, she slept on the couch, was it?
We were all away
Yeah, we
across. I
stayed.
was like, I'm in the room with a strange man. I don't know
Yeah,
him.
so she slept on the couch. I slept on the floor all the way on the other side of the room. Neither one of us want to
Okay.
get near each other. So that's how that went down the first night. The second night, we sat down and we talking and enjoying one another's company. So long story short, when she was going to sleep, I kissed her on her forehead and we went to sleep.
Okay.
So, I was being subtle. I was
Yep.
being subtle. Those touches matter. So that's what I
Yeah,
was doing.
yeah.
Putting the touches in.
Don't touch it. But you know what?
I see you rolling over there, but yeah, that's how it went down.
Hold
I
on.
mean, hey, this is your story, so
Oh
I'm
yeah,
just
oh yeah.
listening, giving the viewers to listen so they can believe that love still
Love
exists. I
actually
mean,
happens, right? Because you know what? I'm not gonna say we were hopeless romantics. We both have been divorced, and probably hurt in two of the worst ways possible, from infidelity to a gun threat. So it's like for myself, I was like, I'm not even about to get married no time soon. I'm not even about to date till my daughter turns 15 or 16. At that time, she was 5,
how
so I
old is
was
she now?
done. 17.
17.
Look at
So
that.
and I told Ariane when we was dating, I said, oh, I'm not getting married for 10 years. So she turned around and said, oh, so what's the point of this relationship? And I ain't even let her go. She was going through certain things personally with her kids and
The
ex-husband and stuff
ex-spouse.
like that. She said, look, I don't want to drag you into this. I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm like, look, you're not going through this by yourself.
He did.
And she looked
He
at me.
did.
I'm from Chicago. I just, we just say what we feel. We just say,
Right.
And
Hmm.
when I said, okay, now what you want to eat? And that was it for me. I'm like, okay, I'm not letting you go through this by yourself. You're a good woman. I know not to let you go. And then I took her around all my friends. So I learned from the first time. I took her around my friends, my family, everybody. Anybody that
What?
would not lie to me, I took her around.
Then you took her back to Chicago.
I took her to Chicago. My
What part of
parents moved from
Chicago are you from?
I stay out in the south side of Chicago, and we moved closer out. We was actually out in the Markham area, and then we got
Okay.
bussed out to Tinley Park High School from where we were. But I stayed out in that area, and I took her there, and then from there, she met my friend. She met my
Okay.
brothers, my sisters, my sister-in-law. Uh, who else? When I brought it, my parents moved
His
from
parents.
Illinois to
And
Georgia.
Okay.
So we drove from Baton Rouge. No, Baton Rouge. I'm sorry. Houston. Was it Houston? We were
yeah,
staying in
Houston.
Houston that time.
Houston.
Houston to Georgia and met my parents. My
Okay.
mom doesn't like anybody. Period. She don't like no.
Okay.
She raised 4 boys and four men and a young lady. And with
Okay.
anybody we date, she ain't like anybody. There's only 3 women she like. Her daughter and my wife and my brother's wife. She really don't care about nobody else.
Mm.
That's just
So
how she
how was
is.
that? How was that first meeting right there when moms and your wife?
Okay, so you hush now. Yeah. Okay. While he skipped a lot, but you know who the talker is, got it going on, Mr. the Pimp over here.
Nah, I ain't no pimp.
I mean, I
I ain't no
seriously, I
pimp.
was like, no, we're not doing this relationship. But I mean, he
Mm.
was mature. Even and I'm a fly back first for at the blind date. We talked. There was a night, one of the nights that they had us kidnapped. We actually sat and talked. We
Mhm.
worked out obviously, because we're trainers. So it's like, that was a competition. I'm like, I'm not gonna let him outdo me. I mean,
Right.
that's
That
me at
story, huh?
Bally's.
That story, huh? Yeah.
And
My
so
gosh.
I had just had surgery on my foot, and
Mhm.
I could tell then, I'm like, he from Chicago, he cocky. I'm not gonna date him. We'll be cool. But he he walks over, takes his shirt off. I mean, he was making moves, y'all, the entire time. Takes
Of
his shirt
course,
off,
of
and all I see
course.
is, chocolate guy. Hey, are you finished? Like, are
Six
you?
pack and everything. Of course, I'm gonna show it off. I'm playing
Because I'm
football
not
and
paying
everything.
attention. I'm like, I don't want it, but he gonna make me look. But
Mm.
we actually had a conversation, you all, because a blind date, you have what, 24 hours to make that impression, or how many hours, and they gave us the whole weekend. And what we did, you talked about our past, things that we expect, things that we did to kind of feel each other out. And I could tell immediately, though, however, that it wasn't about drama and BS. It wasn't about just the tone. It wasn't about other women and stuff like that. Look, are you genuine and are you for me? It was kind of where his conversation was.
Okay.
Um, and knowing what he had gone through in the past relationship, I'm like, okay, I think he might still be hurt. I'm gonna back off. We'll still be cool, but I'm gonna back off. Given that space. Now here we are 12, almost 13 years later, telling this story about, just two people who met, surrounded by the same people. Now to fast forward back to meeting the mom, the first time I actually talked to her, and she would deny this at all costs. I love you, mama. She's on. But he was playing football. He played arena ball, and he broke his finger basically. He's like, hey, just call my mom. So I'm thinking because we're dating, she knows who I am.
Right.
I haven't met her yet, nothing like that. And so I called. I was like, hi, how you doing? This is Ariane. I'm Damon's girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. She said, who? Where's my son? Where's my son? I'm like, he told me to call you. And, immediately I go, she doesn't know anything about me. So he's in the hospital. He told me to call. They're checking his finger to make sure it's not broken and blah, blah, blah. Well, tell my handsome son when he is finished to give me a call. And I just look at the phone like, what? So that's my first time meeting her. I'm like, oh, she think her kid's all that. Damn, call your mama, And she said she did not say that, but she said it. But when I actually met them face to face, and she will argue, we had the same argument. We're actually in Georgia with them now. She said that I'm just like her. And I'm like, I don't know, you are stubborn. You be fussing at people. What would, but, she likes to shop. I hate shopping. The first time I came, okay, we're going shopping. I'm like, geez, why? But we go shopping. We got to, we got the bond. We got the mingle. His dad wouldn't say anything. He just looked at me. He wouldn't say nothing but good morning. All right, how you doing? And I'm trying to figure out, like, he doesn't like me at all. Only to find out they had a conversation after, and he was like, okay, yeah, she's the one, keep her. But he didn't say anything. So the first meeting was really good. Everybody got along. He had 2 girls. I had a boy, girl. So the kids got along. We had everybody together. It was good. It was really good when we met.
So did you ever cook for him during that proceeding? Like you said, you wasn't cooking. You said I'm not cooking at all.
Did. Yes, she did. She made succotash. It's a Louisiana dish. And and that was one of my,
and he ate the whole thing.
I ate all of it.
He didn't. It was at a gathering, the same gathering of the blind date. I wound up cooking. And so after it was done, he saw the rest of what was in the pot, and it was like, hey, anybody gonna eat this? And they're like, no, he ate the entire rest of the pot. And so, and I still cook today. So yeah, y'all cook for your man. It's not a domesticated thing, but he loves that.
She wasn't playing no games in the kitchen, and I wasn't playing no games eating it. So I made sure I ate it. So
hey, the only way to go through with it though. But so my next question is, so you were like going through something, and he basically told you, I'm not going to let you go through this by yourself. So obviously I can see that he fulfilled this promise. So once he started fulfilling his promise, once you heard him say basically in so many words, I got you, how did that make you feel inside? And he started showing you that he had you.
Coming out the last relationship, someone saying they got you, but someone showing you that they got you, totally different things. And so, as far as being uplifting, he was there. As far as being prayer, we keep God first in our relationship. That is literally the first thing. We pray together, we cry together. We do everything in that realm first. God first, then us. So knowing that background, it's like, okay, I was a hurt person as well. And it was like something that was a constant. And so he's like, look, I'm not letting you, it was like he helped to build me back up. He helped put the pieces back together where I didn't feel like I was going to just fall. I felt very, very secure and protected being with him. He never let me feel like, I was ever alone or anything was going to happen to me. I could go to him for anything. I could talk to him literally, even to this day, about any and everything. I have nothing to hide. So it was a very secure feeling. And I think that helped to also build a relationship, knowing I can trust him with anything, literally.
Got you. And then that's when it just popped off. And say, now I'm gonna bring the Mavericks back in now, because we about to play a game now. We about to play some games out here. All right, so
all right, Monks. How y'all doing, Monks?
What's up, Franklins?
What's going on?
Just chill.
This is what I want. I want the women to explain the proposal. How did the proposal go down? Mrs. Franklin, Mrs. Myrick, how did the proposal go down?
You sure you want me?
All right. Look, Miss Monk, mine is good and simple. Mine is simple.
Mine, anything, mine is blur.
Oh Lord. It was
Either or can go first.
Okay,
All right.
so he again.
Time out.
No, let me go ahead.
Time out.
Come on, man. Everybody got all night.
I'm calling the timeout.
Let me explain.
you said
So,
the win.
See, because all right, so remember now, he told y'all that I was the choir girl,
Right.
and he was the other, right? And
Right.
so, you know, I was a good Christian girl, but I wasn't perfect. You know, I like to do things. You know what I'm saying? I like to feel
God
all
wasn't done with you yet.
So one day I was just like, yo, you know, I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. Other than cursing every once in a while and getting a little booty, I mean, I just don't want to live in sin no more. So what's up? I mean, we've been together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, can you know, what's up? And he was basically like, damn, will you marry me? And that was it.
Oh wow.
So you basically said, I'm tired of living in sin. We're going to do this.
Might as well make this official.
It wasn't actually like that. It was kind of like that.
Well, tell your version.
It wasn't totally like that.
Hurry up, man.
But it's close. I'll ride with that one.